Are you one of those agents that knows that you have to do lead generation and all these traditional ways seem to be boring and you're just doing it like everyone else is? Well, here's the deal. You need to step out of the norm. Today, the Real Estate Agent Playbook is super excited for a secret sauce episode with Jenna Hensley. She absolutely crushes open houses. And although she relocated back to her hometown, all of her business and her instant success in the Austin real estate market has come from these open houses. And she's going to share her secret sauce on what those open houses are. So without further ado, let's jump in. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane here with the Real Estate Agent Playbook. So excited for this episode. But first, as always, please like, comment, subscribe. If you would like a free copy of Jenna's checklist for her open houses, please comment below and I'll make sure she gets that to you. Make sure you connect with her because, as we mentioned in the video, she absolutely crushes open houses and has a great time doing it. Let's jump in. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Secret Sauce on Realtor Playbook. Today we have Jenna Hensley from Austin, Texas here, and she is the open house queen. So I'm going to give her a minute. Jenna, thanks so much for coming on. Tell us a little bit about your story. I know you just relocated back to your hometown, and tell us about Jenna Hensley.
Well, thank you for having me, Jeremy. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today and calling me the open house queen. What a title. Yeah. But I started practicing real estate right before the pandemic in 2019 in New Mexico, where I first got licensed and went full-time in 2020. And then, yes, I relocated home this year to Austin, Texas. And I'm going into my 4th year of being a full-time agent. And Austin has been my playground my whole life. So I'm selling a big radius right now. I've got listings in Killeen, I've got buyers in San Marcos, and I do everything in between. So I'm happy to be home and sporting my city.
There you go. Yeah, that's awesome. And she's come into a new city, and this is kind of what initially caught my attention with her socials and things like that. She's come into a new city and absolutely crushed it. Usually there's a little bit of a layover, when you're moving, especially with real estate and new market. She did have the ability to go back home, as she referenced, but there's a lot to that. And there's a lot of agents in the world. So it's pretty awesome to see her almost immediate success going back home, kind of hit the ground running right where she left off from New Mexico. So with all that said, and your great sphere and your, big radius that you talked about, why are you doing these open houses at the level you are? Why did you pick open houses to expand your business?
So I will say that success that you're seeing has come from open houses. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have the opportunity to have any open houses last year or the year before because you couldn't even get to the weekend before the house was sold. So the opportunity to try something that I've always wanted to, I started when the pandemic was going on. And like I said, I didn't get that chance. So moving home, I had it in my head that I was going to have all my friends and family support, and I was just going to, pick up where I left off, like you said, but it did not happen like that. It was like a solid 90 days of 80-hour work weeks, which include 2 to 3 open houses a weekend. I am a part of the Tom Ferry network, which and my coach suggested it, and I was like, that's my personality. I lived in Austin my whole life, and I used to own an event coordinating company. So throwing parties was how I made a living. And I made a lot of money with Austin Bartending Company, which I ran successfully for 6 years, and I had 50 bartenders working for me. So coming from food and beverage, I am not a stranger to anyone. I will walk up to anyone. I love a party. I love an open house. And when I saw the Tom Ferry mega open house kind of breakdown of how they were suggesting I do it, I was like, I'm in. So I made my own checklist and I ramped up signs, and I'm like 43 open houses in for this year. I'm trying to do 56. I want to do 2 a weekend, every weekend. And I have kind of crafted my way to figuring them out. Like when I first started, I was like not collecting data, didn't know. I was literally wasting my time making TikToks. like using the open house to like dance on TikTok until I really understood, okay, you can really pull some great leads out of these open houses. And when I started doing them in June, now today, 6 months later, those buyers that I picked up in June are shopping with me. And it's because of that every week. How are you doing? How's, here's the market. I found this house. I'm thinking about you. How's your divorce? Thank you for your happy birthday. I'm just constantly reaching out to people that I picked up at open houses from earlier this summer. I'm now under contract with 3 of them, and they're all above 800 and up. So it's like luxury. I do luxury open houses specifically.
Yeah, so, that's crazy. The party, right?
Yeah, I look at it
it's
like
not an open house, it's a party, and I love that.
Yeah.
And I think the mega open house is kind of overused because people don't turn it into the party that Tom Ferry's of the world want it to turn into. It needs to be an event. So that's pretty cool.
It's an event for me. My car actually stays fully loaded with all of my gear. I don't even unpack it, but I do 32 signs, directionals, sandwich boards, hangers. I brought one out just so you can kind of see, like, I do really big signs. That sign is like as tall as me. And I litter the entire neighborhood with signs. So that's just how I kind of get the word out. You door knock 10 ways, 10 doors to each direction, letting people know, and printing flyers. And it's turned into a process for me. Like, I was scrambling when I first started doing them, trying to do all this stuff, and I realized I need to get it into a systematic checklist. So every week before my open house, I'm going through making sure I have all my supplies, making sure that I know that house inside and out. My first couple open houses, people are like, what's the material of the siding? And I'm like, hardy board? Hang on, let me call, Yeah. So now, like, I am studying that's a quartz countertop, and those are, stucco inlets, and this, I want to know everything. I don't know if you've watched some of these real estate shows, but when those agents don't know their shit, it looks so bad. So that's a huge part of my preparation. In addition to making it a party, I also need to be the neighborhood expert and the expert on the house. So yeah, there's a process.
So we're not rolling up 30 minutes before and just plopping down some signs and grabbing your laptop and make sure you have the Wi-Fi connection.
Nope, absolutely not.
How long do you think it takes you to prepare? What's your process on that preparation?
So it's kind of crazy because, like, in Texas, in the state of Texas, I can hold an open house for any other brokerage, any other agent. They don't have to be with Real. They can be with EXP, Keller Williams, whoever. In New Mexico, I didn't have that. You can do that in New Mexico.
Oh, really?
That's breaking the rules. Only someone from your brokerage could do open house. So people hit me up in droves, and they're like, will you hold me an open house? And I'm like, it's Thursday and you're asking me for a Saturday. First of all, I'm booked 2 weeks out. Second of all, that is not enough time for me to prepare. I want at least 5 days before that open house is ready, because there's a lot of stuff that I do. I do online marketing, Facebook ads. I do a ton of, you've seen on social media, on Instagram and TikTok. I'm advertising on there as well, and making, specific, unique content for each platform regarding that open house. And then I'm also door knocking. I also need time to study. I'm doing a comparative market analysis and a side-by-side comparison of all of the active homes, so I know who the competition is. I also do a printout of all of the other open houses. So when you come to my open house, you're getting lender info, side-by-side comparisons of all the active listings in the neighborhood, so you can see why this house is better or different. And then also the sold comps, because there's 2 reasons people go to an open house. You're either there to look at a house because you're going to buy, or you're a neighbor who's curious, what does your neighbor's house look for? What are they selling for? So I like to be prepared with all of the sold comps within 90 days of that area. So yeah, 5 days is my minimum. I get started on a Monday and then I work all week and get ready for Saturday, Sunday. And it is a lot of work. It's a lot of unpaid work. It's really frustrating when you're getting going because you're doing all this and you're not reaping the rewards, and you won't for a long time. And that's, I think, the misnomer is you think you're going to go to an open house, hold it open, in walks the buyer, you're writing a contract tomorrow, and it was all worth it. And that's
the horse and carriage are waiting after closing, right?
Yeah, that's not my experience. And if you've had that, bless you. But like the way I have it going is I get them in the front door, and I typically do say, there's two reasons you're here. You're either interested in buying a home or you might be a neighbor. So which one are you? We kind of get that conversation going, and I like to approach them with a big smile, disarm them. I'm usually posted right at the front door. I don't want them walking in and going, oh my gosh, there's someone over there. Like, I don't want to scare anyone. So I post up at the front door, and I'm there to collect information and help people. So this is per agent. Everyone does it different, right? But I make you sign in. If you want to give me Joe Schmo 1234 phone number, fine. But I'm still going to ask for it. And the way I do it is I have a QR code. And that QR code, I ask you to please scan and sign in so I can have record of everyone that came to the open house today. And if that forms a line, so be it. It's not a sign-in sheet where I can't read your handwriting. You are putting in your name, your email, if you have an agent, your price point. It's a really quick questionnaire that pops up when you scan my QR code, and it is backed into my CRM. So you are putting yourself into my CRM. I don't even have to do that anymore, which
on
is like
purpose.
Yes, it's been a game changer for me on the open house circuit, because once they do that, I've got them set up in that neighborhood. My CRM associates them with that zip code for that open house because it is tied to MLS as well. And I use Chime, which I used when I was with Keller Williams because I was looking at the real people and I was like, what is your CRM? And so I just was using all the real tools until I made the switch myself. But Chime has changed my whole life. And it started to ping these people from May and June and July every week. Check out this house in Lakeway. Check out this house in Westlake. How about this one? How's the search going? And it has an AI. So I'm not even manually doing these soft touches via email and text. My CRM is doing it. And as a result of that, I can go onto my CRM and I'm like, wow, that lady from the open house 4 months ago has been on my website looking at houses in that neighborhood since. And I pick up the phone and I call her, and we're literally going shopping for $1 million house this December. And that was from an open house. Yep. So for me, it's just a much more comfortable lead generation. That is me in my element, throwing a party, showing off the home, showing off the neighborhood. I grew up in Austin, so I'm like a local expert. I get to help people figure out where they want to eat for the day and where their kids might want to go to school and the nearest water park and what's going on tonight. So I really just try to make it a natural conversation once they get to the door and get them into my CRM, because I'm seeing amazing results by doing that. So that's why I love open house.
Nice. And I think the biggest thing is you qualify them right when they walk in the door, right? You ask them are you here because you want to buy a house, or are you here because you're a neighbor and you want to see what's in this house? Do you change your conversation with them throughout the open house, dependent on the answer to those one or the other there? Oh,
of course. So if they're a buyer who, if they say, well, I'm looking to buy a house, naturally the next question is going to be, okay, amazing. Thanks for coming today. Let me show you around. I'm the host. I'm here to answer any questions. Are you working with an agent? And I do like to ask that because I don't step on toes. And every once in a while, a unicorn comes through the door who's not working with an agent. Yep. But I also have had an experience recently that's worth bringing up that, the guy came and he was like, I am. but we've written several offers and I don't like how things are going and I'm not happy with my agent. So I'm out shopping by myself and I'm looking for a new agent. And I picked up a buyer who was with another agent who had not signed a buyer representation agreement, not trying to get sued, not trying to step on people's toes. But he outright told me, I want to dump my agent. And now that I've met you, like we talked for an hour and a half at this open house. I've written several offers for him. He's an investor and now he's my client. And so even if they are working with an agent, it doesn't mean that they're happy. And it doesn't mean that they've signed that buyer rep agreement. So it's my opportunity to show my skill set and my confidence. And I, of course, tailor the conversation to the person.
Yep.
I'm an ex-bartender. So like when you come up to my bar, if you have a whole vibe, I'm going to match it. If you're kind of somber and down, I'm going to be a little bit more empathetic and welcoming. If you're like pumped up, I'm going to be pumped up with you. If you're scared and timid, like I have to figure out how to chameleon myself so you feel comfortable. So you're wanting to talk to me because truly I'm there to help. I'm not there for the self-serving, I'm here to get money, sign this contract. Like I'm not a pusher. And when, I don't know, I'm a millennial. When people try to like kind of push me into things, it is the grossest feeling ever. And I run 100 miles the other way. So each conversation with each person based on their personality and their needs is different. But like if they're a seller and they're coming through the door, I'm telling them, you're the person I was hoping to meet today. I know you might be like, oh, I'm at my neighbor's house. Because a lot of sellers think that they're wasting our time or that, they're just there to be nosy. You're the person I came to meet. I came to talk to the neighbors. That's why I'm door knocking the neighbors, because I brought that CMA. I happen to have every sold home in your neighborhood. And now we can chat about it. Now we can have a real conversation about the equity in your home, the value in your home, what's going on in the market and what your plans might be. Because I pick up listings at open houses as well. I think that's the main grab, honestly.
Right. And I think that's like, okay, you're on center stage now. Right. And I have, for my agents, I have them go to 5 open houses of other people. And the reason I do that is because the barrier to entry is so low. I mean, I've been to hundreds of open houses, whether I'm showing or just popping in, and it's all the same. There's some store-bought cookies. There's a couple signs that look beat up and old and are, enticing. And they're sitting there. And they, you tell them you're an agent, you don't tell them you're an agent, whatever. You look around the house and they're like, yeah, let me know if you have questions. See you later. And so the honest truth is there are so many open houses going on because of the Keller Williams of the world and the models that really push open houses, but there's very few that are done correctly with intent. And that's why, I've loved watching your, all your short form, because you come out and you do it, you jump in pools, you do crazy shit all the time, which I love. But that's just your personality. And it makes people like, oh, I'm going to go to that open house. Right.
Yeah. People are always like, what open house are you doing this weekend? And now I've got like a roster of agents, top agents in my city who are selling more than anyone in Austin, Texas. And I'm doing their open houses and they're vetting me out. Like I get hit up by big agents all the time and I'm like, look, Christy Leonard's got me booked for weeks, guys, get in line, And I love it. It's a good feeling. And I've got all my friends coming. I've got agents coming. I've got the neighbors there. And I'm just doing everything I can to create the party vibe. This is Austin, Texas. I ran a party company. We've got 6th Street. You're not going to find a more party-driven city in the South, except maybe New Orleans. But like Austin's where it's at. So I want people to feel that energy. And I'm so glad to hear that you get that out of my short form video, because while I'm there, if no one shows up, I am using that time to make some ridiculous tap dancing, ballet, cartwheel, jump in the pool, whatever I can do. Fly my drone around, bust out the gimbal, make some TikToks while I'm sitting at the prettiest kitchen table, that I've been at all week. But yeah, I really love open houses and they've completely built my business. And when I heard top agents saying that, like, You want to get started in a new market? Get out there, do some open houses. I had to figure out, okay, how do I do them better than everyone else? I'm extremely competitive, and there's no way I'm going to put my name on something that doesn't look badass. Those Home Depot Lowe's for sale open house, I make fun of them. I stop, take a picture. I'm like, is your agent putting these out? Or is your agent putting branded, giant, enormous, beautiful, expensive signage out? I will not use generic signs. They have to have my brokerage, my name, my photo. I want people to know Jenna's back in town.
And then no one has to borrow. No one can borrow them, right?
Yeah, that's why it was so hard to switch brokerages.
Yeah.
Because
I
awesome. Really do invest a lot in my signage.
Wow, that was so much stuff just packed in that short amount of time, and it's clear to see why you've taken it to the next level. And I'm sure every single time you're always looking for the next thing. And parties can't be 1990s; they're always advancing. So the different stuff is awesome. And while you're doing it, if it is slow, you're not wasting your time. You're developing your brand on socials and using video and all of that stuff, which you're getting something out of it no matter what. Come prepared, get something out of it. And if, the people don't flow in, which I'm sure most of your open houses are pretty busy, then you're taking advantage of that time and you're not wasting that time, because time is the ultimate money, right?
Absolutely. And like that being said, I mean, there's a lot of agents that are like, will you please open my house? It's been on the market for 200 days and is $100,000 overpriced. No. Here's why. No one's going to show up. And like, I'm picking open houses that are priced right, that are fresh on the market. And I've just decided I'm only going to do luxury and in certain areas. I really had to reel it in because I was very spread out doing open houses all over Austin. And now I'm kind of farming one area that has luxury homes. And that is producing way more results for me than scattering my time around in, 2s and 3s and like an hour and a half away from my house and stuff. So yeah, I'm really being specific with who I pick now. And I'm not afraid to tell an agent that, I would do an open house for you, but you need to price it right. Because no one's going to come, So.
Yeah. I mean, that's the value you bring. And if you're going to do an open house and have an event at a party or a house, it's got to be the right one. Focus in on that avatar. Who are you targeting? Again, intention. Everything that you've talked about just goes right back to your intention and having the confidence to build it up and do that. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Where can people find these magic open houses and kind of see the magic that I saw when I first started following you?
You can find me on Instagram. I am most active on Instagram at Jenna Hensley Realtor. I post in my stories and I post reels, and you'll know about every open house from there. You can also check out my website, jennahensley.com. All of my open houses are featured on my website front page. You can also check me out on Facebook, but I think Instagram is my favorite just because it's real time. And I also go live on Instagram at every open house and give you a virtual tour as well. This weekend, I am holding my biggest open house yet at a $3.8 million luxury single family, 4-bed, 4-bath, gorgeous home off of South Congress. It's at 312 West Monroe Street. And it is in Austin, Texas. It's Christy Leonard's listing, and she's been so gracious enough to have me out. So no taco truck, but I am doing a big raffle for a Ring doorbell home set that has a $300 value on it. So I'll be out there in the front yard doing the raffle. I've got a bar I'm setting up, horchata, jarritos, topo chicos.
Oh man, I might fly down there for that.
It's gonna be lit. You should come.
Yeah, definitely can't wait to see that on socials. I don't know if I'll make the flight, but that's super awesome. And thanks so much for your time, and good luck with that open house. And so excited to kind of follow your progress as you continue to bust in the Austin market. And if any of you have referrals, going to the Texas area. She did say she works a pretty broad area. So we'll put all her contact information, all her socials in the description. Jenna, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Jeremy. I'm a big fan of yours. Keep doing what you do. I appreciate you.
Yep, let's go. Wow, what a great interview with Jenna that was. I use Jenna's checklist and information that she provided in this call with my agents when they're talking about doing open houses and succeeding, because it's an absolute magic trick that she does. So that's super exciting. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. And if you have any questions about this, please reach out. Would love to help you develop your perfect open house and help you start crushing the game of real estate. Let's go.